Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. This is our 13th edition of the Homes and Money Realtor Mastermind, and I have a really exciting guest today. I have Bishnu Kharel, and listen, the funny thing about this today is if you know him, he just recently got back from a trip where he was gone for 5 weeks, and during his trip, his that magazine that you see in the background behind him of his magazine cover with real producers came out, and he wasn't even home to see it. So so we all got to see it long before he did. I mean, he probably saw the picture proofs, but congratulations on that, Bishnu, and I'm really excited about you being here today.
Oh, thank you, Robert. Thank you for giving me a platform. I'm really excited to share my stories with you.
Great. So speaking of that, where are you from originally?
Yeah, I was born in Nepal, Bhutan actually, and moved to Nepal when I was like tiny baby. And yeah, and I moved from Nepal to California, Oakland, California in 2008. And yeah, I started my journey in this country in 2008.
Okay. And so how long have you been in Cincinnati area?
Yeah, Cincinnati, I moved from California to Chicago, looking for my dreams, finding the opportunities, chasing my dreams actually. And I didn't find my maths that I wanted to enjoy in my life. And I was thinking to find some places that I'm more comfortable working with, develop my dreams and get to go. And I ended up picking to Cincinnati, and moved to Cincinnati in 2016.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And we talked about this on the pre-call, but that's basically when you got started in real estate, or towards the end of 2016, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so how did that happen for you? What made you get into real estate?
Since I was 7 years old, I started my own business. I'm always wanted to talk to people. I always wanted to make a friend, make a connections, and going back to back in the day, I started my own business. When I get older, we have a big store that I mean, initially I started, and my dad pick up because I'm a student. I can do maths. So with my ideas, my dad give me a hand, and we have a big warehouse back in Nepal. And when I finished my high school, I go to get my degree in business, and end up getting a bachelor degree in business. And I started my school here in California when I moved to this country. And when I was in California, I had my best friend dad is also a real estate agent, and I kind of wanted to get to know more about how real estate works. And I started following love in real estate more and more, and yeah, and I started doing it.
Awesome. And so have you been with the same brokerage the entire time?
No, I started from Sipsy Klein. Tom Hasselbeck was my manager. He's an awesome guy. He did a great mentor, and he's a great man. But before I gave my license in real estate, I always wants to be Remax agent. I always have that feeling to be a Remax. And I tried, before I go to Sipsy Klein, I tried to go to another company that is Remax. I tried a few times to meet with the broker, but I can't find him. And I end up being in Sipsy Klein. And after I being in Sipsy Klein for a little over a year, I changed, my career to Remax Preferred Group here in Westchester.
Awesome. So, it's interesting about that. And sometimes, we say things that I want to expand on a little bit. So from what you just said, you identified at a really young age the brand that you thought you wanted to work for, right? And so
Mhm.
I think like we've talked some of that about branding in previous masterminds, and even some of the other guests that are with us today have talked about that. In that brand is so important for you within your own brand, right? It's not just the colors on your business card or the company name that you work for, but it's the brand that you represent, and people identify with that, just like you did in identifying that you wanted to work for Remax, right?
Correct. Yeah. I always wants to talk to people. I fell in love making friends. I have to make at least one or two new friends every day, and I have to keep up that connections. And if I don't see anyone new people, if I didn't make any people's new on my list, I was like, what is going with me here? What did I miss?
Right, right,
That feeling. And going back and back and forth. And I was helping my people. I'm helping my people to any kind of things that they wanted to get help with, as I'm a social worker for like 7-8 years, and I cannot get that connections. I helped many peoples, but didn't have that big of a room to help more.
mhm,
So that's why I end up. I mean, one of my client actually opened up my mind to see, you are doing everything for us. You take us to the bank to get a pre-approval. You help us to view the properties. You sit with us to write a contract, make a decision. And why you are not, why not you get a license and do the same thing.
right,
um,
right.
yeah. And I was like, no, not right now, but I'm thinking about it. And when I go sleep, I was like, man, why should I wait? And I just like, what? I'm getting my license, and I just started my license, going to school next day, and that's my real estate career start on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So we talked about this a little bit, and a lot of the guests that we've had on here so far are teams, and they've built teams. And a couple of agents that we've had on here so far are still individual agents, which
Mhm.
is what you are.
Mhm.
Um, my first question about that is it getting tougher and tougher as you continue to grow? Because obviously Real Producers has recognized that you're a top producer in the area, and your sales are continuing to rise. Is it
Mhm.
getting tougher for you to continue that by yourself?
Sometimes I feel that way, but it is, I don't know. Like, I think, we have like 4 different transactions to complete the closing table. Real
Mhm.
estate agent who is representing a buyer, the listing agent who is representing a seller, the lender, and the title company, right? So if I'm having a really good connection with the agent. I wanted to treat people's good. I want to be who I am. And getting a real good friendship relationship with these 4 members will not make me that difficult to close this much volumes from now. But I'm thinking of getting some help soon though.
Right. So if you surround yourself with good people and good relationships and good partners, then
Mhm.
you're right. That absolutely takes a big load off of the transaction for you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah, and I wanted to add a little bit here. Like when I first started my license, I have like, I don't know, I do the second month of my license, I got like 16 pending on that month. And I don't even know how to write a contract correctly. And I was like, I missed the inspection. I'm mass. I'm like, you know what? I don't think I can do this anymore.
Right.
So yeah, I end up meeting with loan officer Brandy Harkorod. She was with the Caliber Home Loan before. Now she moved to Cross Country Mortgage. She pick up my deals, and she take care of my clients. I don't have to give much of my time to see where my clients, loan process is. So if we find, my point is, if we find a right loan officer that do the deals close in time, if you are the buyer's agent, and you don't have to worry that much to not be able to close the deal, and she take half of my load of my financing side. So other thing is, listing agent. When listing agents, when like I have to be good to get my good treatment, right, from someone else. So I always wants to be the good person, and I wanted to treat people's right and fear. So listing agent, I do the right thing. I don't want to fight for my clients if they are wrong. I wanted to fight for the right only, even though they are not my, sometimes
Sure.
I'm a buyer's agent, I'm fighting for the sellers, because I want to treat the people's right. I want to make sure that, someone is not taking advantage of someone who, even though they are wrong, So, that's why, I think I am able to close like 94 deals last year.
Wow.
Yeah. And yeah.
That's
So
great. Congratulations.
thank you.
So again, the second part of this question is, as a one-man team, so to speak, as a one-man show,
Mhm.
you have a wife and two small children at home. How are you making sure that you have good work-life balance for your
You
family?
know, yeah, the reason that I close so many deals by myself is I don't even have to think anything, at my home. My wife take care of all the bills, school, cooking, cleaning, like whatever the things that we need to do at home, she's the man. She do
Awesome.
everything at home, and I don't have to worry anything, for the appointments, dental, school, homework, all those things, she do everything for, at home. So that's why I am able to spend more time on real estate and do what I'm doing now. And also, not only that, she does help me sometime when I really need. One month last year, I have 16 closing on that month, and I'm like, I can't function myself, and I have like every hour I have a showing, and she jump on me and she does help me when I really need help. But she's pretty busy, she have to take care of everything at home. So even though, she does spend some time, come to my office, help me when I really need help.
That's great. And that is like having a team with you. I mean, we've talked to Scott's on here, and he's a husband and wife team. They're both in the business. They kind of juggle back and forth. And it sounds like you have that same support system at home. So that's awesome. Okay, so one of the things that we talked about on the pre-call was that you have now kind of started to venture into some different areas. You focus primarily on residential, but I think you told me that you just sold a golf course. So how have you started to develop your different market and niche, so to speak?
First of all, I have zero marketing, that I'm, doing to get the business. So my people who I work with before, reach out to someone, if they know someone who is trying to sell their business or wanted to buy something, they reach out, hey, Vishnu, she's my mother, she's trying to buy a home. She's, hey, she's my aunt, she's trying to sell something, they reach out to me, and I reach out to them, and close friend, like a close friend of mine, who they reach out to me, hey, she's selling her girlfriends. Are you doing a commercial? I'm like, yeah, I am. I am doing all kind of real estate here. So I
Right.
don't have much experience in golf course, but I do hire someone who's expert on a side, as
Sure.
a, and I want to make sure that, I'm not just taking the business, but I'm doing the right things to them,
Sure.
So I do have an attorney, and also my I do get a help from my commercial expert also to make sure that I'm doing correctly and I'm handling the business the way it's supposed to be.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you mentioned that you don't do any marketing, and a lot of it is past client referral in, past client follow-up. What do you specifically do on a day-to-day basis to make sure that you manage your past clients?
Every year I send a calendar, and whenever every day, everybody has at least like 7-8 hours bright day per day, right? So on a light, when I wake up, I wanted to spend like those time, like every single minute is valuable to me. I wanted to make sure that I'm not spending my time like not doing anything. If I'm sitting at office, I do make a call, even though like I have a list of like all those clients who I sold before. I have a slideshow that comes on my mind, on my TV. And I was like, oh, I haven't reached out to this client for a while. I wanted to let's make a call. I just make a quick call. And hey, I'm just checking, how you doing? It's been a while, we haven't talked. Hope everything is good, And yeah, we're doing good. If they answer, if not, I just leave them a voicemail. And I'm not asking, hey, do you want to sell your homes or do you want to buy another one? I didn't say that. I want them to open up. And if they say, and hey, I was thinking of selling my home next year, but I'm not ready yet. I'm like, yeah, great. I'm happy to help you. I will be there for you anytime, anywhere. Just let me know when. And I just hang out. I put a note on, when they are getting ready to sell their home. And every time whenever I make a call, whenever I do, something, I have someone, somewhere that I know. And I think my kind of language is like real estate. I always talk about, how is your home? Do you get any new neighbors there? I just wanted to check in, if there are some more homes, sale on their neighborhood, So yeah, I'm connecting people, making friendship is my marketing.
That's great. You said to us that you decided you wanted to be a real estate agent or had a passion for it, very, very young, like age 7, age 8. And it's funny, like a lot of people that are referral based, they get really good at somehow bringing up what they do in conversations. Right. So you're talking to your neighbor and your neighbor mentions something and you say, oh, you know what? I have a client that did this or bought this property, whatever. And it just kind of brings up what you do in a conversation, and it makes them remember and
Right.
then think of you. Kind of, again, the brand awareness that we talked about early on makes them think of you at later when they need a real estate agent. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the things that is interesting here, and Scott, if you want to unmute yourself, I think this is fantastic. So Scott Ferguson, which is one of our previous guests, is on this call with us today, and Scott's been a great supporter of mine ever since I conned him into being a guest. But Scott brought up the fact that on this that he wanted to be here today because he believes that he's done more transactions with Vishnu than any other agent that in the city. And that's a testament to who you are. And he said specifically that it's because he knows it's going to close, right? Like he knows who he's working with. So I'm sure there's other people, but when you have peers in the industry, isn't it comforting for you to know that there's a level of trust there and that you're both going to be able to mutually work something out for the clients? Yeah. And
Well,
Scott, you meant, yeah, go ahead. I was
yeah,
going to ask you.
I was going to say just absolutely. And it's, until you do a deal with somebody you don't know, but you always hope that, some of those people come back around that you've had the good experiences with. And I think one of the reasons that he and I work good together is something that he had said about sometimes, he's working like for the seller, even though he has the buyer, and I know what he means by that because I've been on the other side of those deals, and and he shares the same outlook and wish of outcome that I do, and I always say to other agents, I want to work collaboratively with you. I want to get my buyer or my seller's house sold, my buyer in house, and and usually the other agents the same way. And now that inspections are becoming a big thing again, instead of trying to beat each other up and walk away like I'm the winner because I got everything, it's working towards the common goal of getting the house sold and getting a new house for the buyer. And if you have an agent on the other side of that deal, it's just going to go so much better. So I know Bishnu and there's a lot of other ones too that I have the same view of, and I know he does too, where I know that I'm going to have a good deal with this person. The ones that come across the table, am I wrong? The ones like, oh boy, this one's going to be a bumpy road. And it's tough sometimes, but it always is comforting knowing that the other person has the same end goal in mind.
Yeah, go ahead, Vishnu. I think you were going to add something to that.
Scott say, he's like, when we have a deal together, inspection wise, writing an offer, terms, we know real estate. And, he, like, whenever I write an offer, like, I asked him, hey, what is your seller's most preference? Do they need extra time for the closing, after closing, or, what is their main focus on, are they looking for the more down payment or more earnest money or extra time after closing? We kind of get to know each other and wanted to know the seller's preference if he should be representing a seller, So finding the actual points and what their seller preference is, get more motivations and getting an offer accepted. And we know that already. And I did let my buyers know that, hey, this is what their sellers need. Are you okay with this? And we already have those conversation up front, and that makes even easier and more trust.
Yeah, there's a really great book and author. If you haven't, maybe you've heard him speak actually, but there's Chris Voss wrote this book, Never Split the Difference. Mm-hmm. And Chris Voss he was a former FBI hostage negotiator. And one of the things that he said is, he actually taught me this, is that, the word agreement does not mean alignment. The word agreement means that somebody wins and somebody loses. Like somebody has to cave. If Bishnu wants me to agree with him, then generally the concept is that I have to cave in on some of my desires to agree with him. And he says the biggest thing that we should all focus on is alignment. And we want to align all of our goal together. So the goal between a buyer and a seller in a real estate transaction is for everybody to win and to actually get the house sold, with the client getting the house that they want to buy. And it sounds like when you have good partners and good relationships, that it's a lot easier to get to alignment than it is looking for an agreement, right? Mm-hmm. So, okay, Bishnu, what is the biggest piece of advice that you would give to your fellow top producers?
Be yourself first. Being a real estate, this is a small world. Be consistent in what you're doing. Continue the real estate if you really like to be a real estate agent, and start investing on a long term. Don't save all the money, put it in bank, and don't let your money sit, every penny sit in your bank. Invest somewhere. And to continue to the real estate, keep persistent. Keep doing what you're doing, and don't be lazy. Don't do party all the time. Party is a marketing, but yes, sometimes too much is little, too much. So yeah. And
so I want to ask you that. Real quick, because we mentioned this early in the call, but you just recently got back from a 5-week trip, and mm-hmm. we talked about the fact that you don't have a team. Mm-hmm. Did your business kind of go on hold while you were gone, or did you have some people that were willing to fill in for you and cover for you? Because you weren't just like a couple hours away. You were on the other side of the globe.
Right. So. Yeah. I had an agent who's her name is Leanne Sokolis. See, every time when I am out, I asked her help. I treat her good, and she always wanted to work, cover me up. And yeah, she did cover up me for like more than a month, and I treat her well.
That's
So,
good. That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to open it up. If anybody has a question for Bishnu, I'd love to hear it. And he was very eager to be on today, so I'm excited about that. So anybody have a question for Bishnu?
What percentage of your business is from past client? And I'm sorry that I was distracted for a minute. The whole office came by, was singing happy birthday off camera. And so I'm sorry about that.
Scott,
So you may
Miranda
have
actually said she was going to sing a solo for you here in a minute. So yeah, go ahead.
So what percentage? Because it sounds like you don't do a lot of marketing. I know you do. Obviously, you do a lot of business because you're on the magazine behind you, which we all know what it takes getting that. So what percentage is past clients, new clients, and then how do you get all your new business? You have a lead funnel that you do, or what?
Yeah, I think 90% of my business come from the past client.
Okay.
Because like I said, I am always with the involving with the communities, my past clients, my whoever I work with before. I talk to them, I visit to them, to their home or to somewhere, or events or something, and whenever I talk to them, I was like, how you doing? Like I said, if they have any family friend that they wanted to buy or sell, and every time, like not only a real estate, I only not talk about the real estate, but also like any kind of needs that they have. Like if they are looking for the roofer, painter, plumber, handyman, I have all those kind of list of people that that we need. And that is the kind of key of connecting my clients and keep my clients, up to date. I refer them all kind of peoples, I go with them to make sure that he's treating my clients right. And, all those clients, I take care of them, they will take care of me.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Who else has a question for Bishnu?
Do you do closing gifts? And if so, what kinds?
Yeah, I do.
That's a great question.
Yeah, that's a great question. Closing gift, I don't know. I didn't act as a closing gift, but I do gift to them. Let's say the house need a little bit of cleaning, or need a carpet cleaning or paint or something. I didn't give them at closing, but I help those clients to supply my handyman or contractor to do the job. And most of the time, I do, I make them a payment. And that's like, if they don't need anything else, I buy them a movie ticket or something,
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, because I don't do closing gifts. I do if it's really expensive. If it's I would feel guilty for not getting them something.
Mhm.
But I don't know what to give.
Yeah, I don't even know what gifts they,
Yeah, I think so many things are so tacky, it's
Right. Yeah, I didn't, like buy something at the closing to give it to them,
yeah.
I kind of get to know like what's their real need and what makes them happy, I kind of find that, and
Yeah.
find a time to reward them.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, I think so. Scott or Miranda or Lindsay, if you guys have some thoughts on the closing gift front, what my experience has always been something that's thoughtful, and not self-serving for you. So way back in the day, there was a Remax agent. I don't even know if he's doing business anymore, but he used to take a picture of the property basically from the listing photo and give it in a frame with the little key holders back when everybody had keys. And that was something really practical that people would use. And all he did was kind of put a sticker on the back of the frame that had his contact info, but it wasn't like super big and front and center. I've seen like the latitude and longitude signs, which I think are great. I think the keys signs, are fantastic. There's so many different ideas, but you're right. You don't want to be tacky and you don't want to try to be self-serving and giving the gift. But Scott or Miranda or Lindsay, if you guys have something to add to that, I mean, obviously, we're here to collaborate and help each other. So.
Yeah.
We have had a wide gamut of gifts. When I started out, I couldn't afford to do anything, so I didn't do anything. And then I started doing doormats with their name on it. So that always was I think a pretty good one. So it would have your last name, welcome to the Fergusons or whatever. And then we've done things where we made stuff like household supplies and things like that since they're moving in, and it was in a logoed bag. Now we do a bottle of wine, and then we do a Cutco knife stand and a Cutco knife, and then that's branded. And then what we do for every time they send us a referral, we add a different knife to that Cutco knife board, which of course is very expensive to do. But that's what we're doing now. We are looking at switching things up to like the Yetis, branded, it would have like their name on it. Because I think then they'd never throw it away, and then maybe we could logo the bottom of it. So whenever you tip it up, they see who at least gave it to you. But that's some of the stuff that we've done and do.
Cool. Those are great ideas.
Bishnu,
Yep.
How often do you reach out to your past clients?
Every day I at least reach out 10 clients a day of all my past clients. Like I said, I had a slideshow of my whatever I close, who I closed last year, this year till now. I have like list of clients with their property address on my slideshow. And every time when the slideshow comes in my office, I haven't reached out to this client. That's like a reminder for me to, reach out to them. And I want to make sure at least I reach out to 10 of my clients.
Yeah.
And I make a call, text, email. Sometimes they, many clients prefer the text message than the call. Some prefer email. According to their preference, I reach out to them. And if I didn't, hear back from them, I send a reminder text. Sorry, I know you were busy, but I just wanted to say hello and thinking about you, just wanted to say a friendly message. And yeah, that's the key, buddy.
Well, I did a lot of Zillow for years, and I cut that out in June or July of last year. And I was so busy that I did not have time to stay in touch with my past clients.
Yeah.
So now I have people from 6-7 years ago I haven't talked to.
Right. Yeah. I would highly encourage anyone to, reach out to the past clients. That is our lead. They know, like if we meet a new clients through Zillow or somewhere, they are new. We don't know who they are. We don't know their habits. But if we talk to the past clients, we already know them. We know how they act, how they work. And those clients will be the best resource for us to build our businesses. Yeah.
And Dustin, I would say, like, there's a lot of different coaches that would tell you to eat the frog, right, or stuff like that. I mean, just make the phone call and just say, hey, my bad, I've gotten busy, I hadn't talked to you in a while, I wanted to just catch up. Don't avoid it because you haven't talked to them in 6 or 7 years. Just call, and they'll appreciate that so much
Right.
more.
Yeah. And I also send every year I send a calendar to them with a handwritten note inside the calendar, because if I just put a like general some kind of note, then it is like it will not fit for all of them. I kind of feel like if they have a new baby born on their ear, hey, I just wanted to say hello to your little kids. I haven't met them, but I'm hoping to see her soon, and I wish her the best just like if they have someone passed away, I'm very sorry that, you have your loved one just passed away. I'm very, very sorry. Lots of prayers thinking about you, just like some kind of touchy, note inside my calendar every year kind of makes, my people connect more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. And the nice thing is I remember a lot, like details on every person, even if they're minor, something, So
Yep.
Yeah.
Anybody else have a question for Vishnu?
Is his wife available for another spouse? Because I'll
Yeah.
I was thinking that exact same thing, Miranda. Like, does she have any spare time? Because some of us could use even more help.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I don't even help anything, but she like I do most of my stuff on myself on real estate. She do most of the stuff at home by herself, But we help each other. Yeah, but that's why she play a major role to be who I am now. If she didn't do all at home, I would not be who I am now. I cannot be able to sell this much of volume. It is definitely a teamwork. And she, like sometimes definitely yes. I mean, most of the girls, they likes to go out. They likes to vacation more. But I like I was like let's focus on business for this month, and let's go next month. And I kind of convinced her a little bit. If she, what, we have to go. If she said twice or thrice, then I have to go. Yeah, but very, very sweet wife. She's the main key for my success. And not only her, many of my family friend, they support me. They help me if they need help in my if I need help at home, if I'm not available, my family, my brothers, sisters, cousins, they jump on me, help me at home, whatever things to be done. So it's not just me doing all, and but I have a very, very close family that we support each other, help each other, grow each other stronger.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just want to say again, I really appreciate you being here, Vishnu, and I appreciate everybody else being here for support. It's fun for me to continue to see some of the same faces, and I believe that I think everybody is getting something out of this. I know I am. You guys can see this in some of the content that I create, that I take out like bits and pieces that were really, really good, and obviously post them, but on the YouTube channel for everybody to see. But I think like I've picked up things like even and just for example, like when Scott told me that he goes through the Kona ice line, or the people that stop by and pick up a pumpkin, and he's not Scott the real estate agent, he's just Scott the neighbor, right? Like that really kind of reflected back to me and say, you know what, people get enough marketing stuff from me, just be people's friend, right? And so like I said, I learn something every week just by having these great realtors on here. And I just want to say I appreciate you guys, and appreciate Bishnu for being the guest today, and looking forward to next week. I've got my next two guests. Next week is Megan Stacy, and then in 2 weeks is Miranda. And so I'm super excited about the continuation of this mastermind, and the great people that are continuing to be in front of us. So
Cool.
Yeah. Can I add one more?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I also wanted to share with all the people around the globe that, as a human being, do the things right, don't treat people the way that you wanted to be treated, and there is always a success, success will follow through if you lead by the heart. So, be persistent in what you do, keep up the good work. Don't be lazy, if you wanted to, since we are a public face, people wants to see something different, something progressive, wanted to learn from the best, And yeah, and just keep up the good work. And also this, I've been following you for quite a while now. We haven't met each other, we haven't talked each other, but your show is school for thousands and thousands of agents for me, on my perspective, because like many agents who are new to the industry, or many agent who is in the industry for quite a while, but didn't know what they are doing, or didn't know the best skills to be the best and sell number of properties. So this platform will give the best school for many agents who truly know what real estate means. And this platform is for anyone, and this is free. They don't have to pay for anyone else, they don't have to go to school. Anyone can learn from a home. And this platform will be one of the best school for any of the people that they wanted to learn real estate. And I do thank you very much for this platform.
Thank you. I promise you I didn't pay him to say that. No, I'm humbled, Vishnu, because like I said, I have a lot of fun with this, and I'm enjoying it even more every single week. So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next week. I appreciate it.
All right.
See you, man.
Scott.
See ya.
Young
Happy
boy.
birthday,
Thank you.
Scott. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
See ya.